Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we are tackling a world that promises fortunes, but man, it delivers heartbreaks in pretty much equal measure. We're talking about the world of trading. And wow, this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? Stressful, addictive, and exciting. It perfectly captures that emotional roller coaster. I mean, we're talking about a field that can feel like you're playing the ultimate video game 1 minute, and then bam, it's a total nightmare the next. So that leads us to the big question, right? What is this thing really? Is it a genuine path to financial freedom, making a living from your laptop on a beach somewhere? Or is it just a really sophisticated trap designed to take your money? Look, the truth is, if you want even a fighting chance in this game, you have got to get brutally honest with yourself. You have to strip away all that Hollywood glamour and just confront the cold, hard reality of what you're really up against. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. All right, so let's start at square one, the absolute basics. What do we even mean when we say the word trading? Okay, so at its very core, trading is just this: buying and selling financial instruments. Things like stocks, currencies, commodities. But here's the absolute key part of that definition. The goal is to make a profit in a short period of time. We are not talking about years here. We're talking days, hours, sometimes even minutes. Okay, pay attention here because this is probably the most important distinction we're going to make. This is where most beginners get into some serious trouble. They confuse trading with investing. And let me tell you, they are two completely different sports. Seriously, confusing these two is an absolute recipe for disaster. Think of it like this. Investing is a marathon. It's a long-term game. You're buying into a company's fundamental value, its future, and you might hold on to that for years. Trading? That's a sprint. It's the complete opposite. It's all short-term, focusing on price movements, using tools like technical analysis, which is really just studying chart patterns. And because of that, it's naturally a much higher risk, higher frequency kind of activity. All right, let's bust another huge myth. A lot of people think successful traders can, predict the future, that they've got some crystal ball or a secret formula that tells them exactly where the price is going to go next. Nope. The reality is actually way more interesting than that. And this quote, this one reveals the most critical mindset shift you have to make. A great trader doesn't predict the future. Instead, they learn to think like a casino, right? The casino doesn't know if you're going to win the next hand of blackjack, but they do know that over thousands of hands, their small statistical edge will guarantee they make a profit. That's the goal. To have a system where the odds are just slightly in your favor over the long haul. So let's stick with that casino idea. Imagine your trading system is profitable 60% of the time. 60%. That sounds amazing, right? But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You have absolutely no way of knowing which of your next 100 trades are going to be the 60 winners and which are going to be the 40 losers. You could have 10 losers in a row before you see a winner. You just don't know. And that is the whole point. The outcome of any single trade you make is totally random. It's irrelevant. Real success in trading comes from rigorously, almost robotically, executing your strategy over a huge series of trades. You have to let that statistical edge play out. You've got to stop obsessing over every win and loss and start thinking purely in probabilities. Okay, time for the next dose of reality. The myth is that the market is this fair, level playing field where everyone has an equal shot. The reality? Not so much. Retail traders, that's people like you and me, we are basically little fish swimming in a tank full of sharks. And those sharks are what traders call smart money. And here's a perfect example of what those sharks do. This chart shows a classic move called a stop hunt. See, big players, we're talking huge hedge funds, they need massive numbers of orders to buy or sell against. And if there aren't enough people willing to trade with them, well, they can actually push the price down to an area where they know tons of small traders have placed their stop-loss orders. By deliberately triggering all those stops, they create a sudden flood of selling, which they can then use to scoop up what they wanted to buy in the first place. Their goals are pretty simple and, pretty ruthless. First, create the liquidity, the orders they need. Second, shake out the weak hands, scare nervous traders out of their spots. And third, trap other traders so they can build up their own huge positions at the best possible prices. Now, this isn't some wild conspiracy theory. It's just the raw mechanics of a market that needs immense amounts of money flowing to even work. So what's the result of playing in this Shark Tank? Well, the numbers are pretty sobering. Some analysis suggests a staggering 98% of retail traders ultimately lose money. Let that sink in. 98%. This is absolutely not a game for the unprepared. Okay, so if the market itself is that challenging, where is the real battle? The myth is that it's all about finding that one perfect magical system. The reality? The most ferocious fight is the one you're going to have with yourself. And this quote from the legendary trading coach Mark Douglas just says it all. You could have the greatest system on planet Earth, but if your own psychology isn't rock solid, you will lose. The market is basically a giant, unforgiving mirror that reflects all of your internal weaknesses right back at you. Your fear, your greed, your impatience, all of it. And you know what? The greats, the legends of trading, they all say the same thing. Success isn't about never losing. That's impossible. It's about learning how to lose correctly. That means taking small, planned losses without even hesitating. It's about having the iron discipline to follow your rules no matter what, and it's about mastering your emotions so that a huge win doesn't make you reckless and a painful loss doesn't make you afraid. And please listen to this. This is a critical warning. If you come to the market needing to make money, to pay the rent, to fix your financial problems, you have already lost. That desperation creates this insane pressure, which fuels your fear and your greed, making calm, disciplined decisions absolutely impossible.
Okay, so we've stripped away a lot of the myths. What's the real price of admission to this game? What does it actually take to even have a shot?
Believe it or not, the money you put in your account is the least important part. The real investment? It's the thousands of hours staring at charts. It's the endless education. It's forging rock-solid mental fortitude. And it's that relentless, day in, day out, discipline to execute your plan flawlessly every single time. And even if you do all that, the numbers are still tough. It's one thing to just not lose money, but to actually live off of trading, that's a whole other level. And the data we have here suggests that of all the people who try, maybe only about 15% ever get there. That means a full 85% fail to make a living from it. So in the end, it really all boils down to this. Trading isn't about having a crystal ball. It's about self-mastery in a world of total uncertainty. The market doesn't reward genius predictors. It rewards discipline, patience, and resilience. So the final question for you isn't, can I find a winning strategy? The real question is, can I become the kind of person who's disciplined enough to actually execute one?